And hello everybody and welcome to the Shabbat Show with the Shabbat Project and Project Inspire. I am so excited to be with you today. This is going to be an incredible show. You know, we're living in incredible times. And many times we look out in the world and we feel this sense of, I wish I could go into some place that is safe and secure and clear and clean where I can just go deeper. If there's ever a time where we are living in a period where we need a little bit of a spiritual break, a little bit of a spiritual recharge, a little bit of an ability to connect to other people that may look different, that may think different, but at a level that is deeper, where they're just the same as us. It's right now. Have you ever felt like we needed this more? Have you ever felt like we needed this space where I can look at another human being and just see you for your soul? Where I can just feel enveloped by some level of safety and security? Where I can enter something, where I can breathe again? It's right now. When God created the world, God said, listen, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to help me build the place. I want partners. I am making this world imperfect. I am sowing into this world the opportunity for division. There's going to be differences of opinions. There's going to be things that don't make sense. There's going to be things that need to be built. And you, my partners, are going to help me take an imperfect world and try to reach it to perfection. It's hard stuff. It's what I do, it's what you do, it's what everybody does in their homes, in their families, in their jobs, locally, communally, nationally. That's what it means to be a human being. And God says, listen, it's going to get tough. I know it's going to get tough. So here's what I'm doing. I'm baking it in early. I'm going to put into the system the ability for you to realize that as much as you get into this world, as much as you get caught up in doing what you're supposed to be doing, I don't want you to forget that the purpose here is not something that is physical or material, but it's spiritual. I'm still here. I'm still your partner. And at the end of the day, this world is much deeper than even the work you're doing for 6 days a week. And so from the beginning, God puts in this concept called Shabbat. Remember, God didn't need to rest. He's God. That's one of the perks of being the creator of humanity. You're good. You work 7 straight days. God's type A. He gave us Shabbat because he's telling us, listen, if you want to know how to get through this, work 6 days. Do what you got to do, but remember, I'm giving you a way to unplug. I'm giving you a spiritual time vessel that you can enter into for 25 hours, and everything that's on your head can just dissipate because you remember that I'm still running the place. I'm giving you ability to sit around a table with people that you may disagree with during the week. But when you look at them now, they don't look like that same person on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm giving you the ability to breathe a different breath. I'm giving you the treasure that I have in my treasure house called Shabbat. This week is not just a Shabbat that we all need, maybe more than most Shabbats we've ever experienced. This week is a special Shabbat because of the Shabbat Project. That's why we're here. We're usually doing this every single week. But today we have a chance to do it on a bigger level. So for those that are joining us now, for the first time, welcome. For those that have been with us, you know that every single Thursday we come at you live with the Shabbat Show. And that Shabbat Show is trying to bring that taste of Shabbat every single week. Check out this wonderful video we have on the Shabbat Show. And that's a show that we have every single week. We hope you get to tune in and join us. We taste this every week together from people all over the world. This week is special because this week we get the Shabbat Project. And for those of you who are familiar, the Shabbat Project was a creation of Chief Rabbi Warren Goldstein from South Africa that had this idea of bringing Jews together for one Shabbat, and it caught like wildfire. So today is not a Shabbat for just you alone. Today you are going to be celebrating the Shabbat Project, which is a celebration of Shabbat with tens and hundreds of thousands of people around the world, in hundreds of cities, in dozens of countries. We're doing this now. So what you're feeling right now, what I'm feeling right now, I hope you can feel it. What I'm feeling right now is so blessed that I am part of this nation that can think that there's somebody right now in South Africa and Canada and in Israel and Australia and all throughout the United States that is really doing what I'm doing, getting ready to celebrate the exact same Shabbat that I'm doing with my family. We're all one nation, and this is the week that we're going to come together and appreciate that. And that's why this Shabbat show is not like every other Shabbat show. We have an insane show for you. We've got live music, we've got guests, we've got hookups all over the world to other places that are celebrating right now. We're going to Israel, we're going all over the place. We have co-hosts. It's going to be an incredible show. Stick with us to the end. This is going to be amazing because this is a special time for our people in history. This is a special time for who we are, and we got to bind together and realize that we are stronger together. I am standing right now in an incredible place. I am broadcasting live to you from Art Scroll Studios in Rahway, New Jersey, at the beautiful home of Art Scroll Publishing House. This place is amazing, and I am here with the great video magician extraordinaire, Hananya Kramer, whose work is off the charts. His team at Kol Ram has done so much, especially right now. You can check him out at kolram.com. We have an incredible show for you. I am so excited for it. I hope you're with us from now to the end. And when we're done, I hope we realize that we are one nation under God, living and breathing a life that is so special. And when we experience it together, we'll feel it in our core. We'll walk into that spiritual place and be better united. Looking forward, stick with us, and can't wait to get started. And of course, remember, one of the most important things that Project Inspire is doing every single day, every single week is the one-on-one learning. This is custom learning. Just sign up to one-on-ones. Check out this flyer about one-on-ones. You can see right here, it's easy to sign up. Check it out. Try it out. From the beginning of the show, we've literally placed dozens of people in these incredible one-on-one learning sessions, and people are raving about it. So check it out. Text the number and get a part of it. Number two, remember, I'd love to give you a Shabbat Shalom. What Shabbat Shaloms do is it connects us by being able to highlight people from all over the world. Go to my Facebook page at Charlie Harari at Facebook. Send me a Shabbat Shalom and love to read you. I'm going to have it with me the entire show. We'll talk about it. I'll be able to wish you a Shabbat Shalom live. And of course, we are joined with an incredible band. Aryeh Kunstler is here. Aryeh is a Jewish-American musician and a singer. He is best known for his catchy songs, specializing in alternative Jewish music. Aryeh has collaborated and performed with scores of artists. He has released 2 full albums and numerous singles, with many more in the works. Aryeh is a band leader, a singer, and a guitarist for the Coldplay Orchestra in New York since 2017, and has been a wedding music professional since 2007. He will be with us all night. Ladies and gentlemen, Aryeh Kunstler.
Thank you, Charlie. It's great to be here. It's great to be here with you all. Ay shalom aleichem malachi asherei malachi elyon mi melech malchei hamelochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Are we ready? Shalom Aleichem Malchei Asheris Malchei Elyon Mi Melech Malchei Kadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Ashoris, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Amlochim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Ashoris, Umalachei Elyon. Hayni Melech Malchei Amlochim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bo bo bo, Achim Shalom Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Amlochim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Bo Achim Shalom Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Amlochim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ay Malachei Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Umalachei Elyon. Ay Melech Malchei Amlochim, oh HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bakuni li shalom, malachei shalom, malachei elyon. Hayni melech malchei amlochim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I say shalom, malachei shalom, malachei elyon, melech malchei amlochim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Say shalom, malachei shalom, malachei elyon, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Say shalom, malachei shalom, malachei elyon. Hayni melech malchei amlochim, HaKadosh. One more time, my Yaiba. Say shalom, malachei shalom, malachei elyon. Hayni melech malachei amlochim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
World. We've got a great show for you across the globe and celebrating Shabbat in this amazing way. Remember, we got resources for you. Go to theshabbatshow.com. On the website, it says Card of the Week and Shabbat Guide. You can find a Havdalah card, a Challah card, a Kiddush card, whatever you're doing. Facebook and Instagram, and you can enter to win Apple AirPods Pro on the show tonight. So like us and follow us. We'll put you into a raffle, and by the end of the show, I will announce the winners. One other thing, if you would like a shot at a Shabbat Shalom, we'd love giving Shabbat Shaloms. Just sending a Facebook note at Charlie Harari on Facebook. I got my phone right here, so we'll be able to sort of see everybody coming in. We'd love to wish you Shabbat Shalom. It brings the whole thing together. So excited for what we got going on. We got incredible guests. Our first guest is a good friend of Project Inspire. He is the Jewish Jack Bauer, a counter-terrorist specialist. His unit was called in, if you remember, a few years ago, 3 Israeli boys were kidnapped. And his unit was called in to help find them. Not only is he a counter-terrorist specialist, he is also studying to become an ordained Orthodox rabbi, and he is the director of Or Torah Darkinu Yeshiva, which is a yeshiva for students and men with special needs who, until now, could only dream of spending a gap year in Israel. He is coming to us from an army base in the Gush region. Let's go to Steve Gar.
Friends, these are strange times indeed. Fear and uncertainty are everywhere, and there's no real conception of where the end to this lies and what the future holds. Suddenly the world seems a much smaller, much more fragile place. The certainties we took for granted are no longer so solid. And yet, some things remain in place and always will. We have our values, we have our families, we have our communities, and we have Shabbat. Shabbat has held the Jewish people together throughout our history, since the moment God gave it to us more than 3,300 years ago. It has been a source of joy and inspiration, comfort and strength through all of our journeys. It has always been there for us. And in the midst of the COVID-19 crisis, Shabbat is there for us again. Shabbat can mitigate the sense of dislocation we feel. It can relieve the unease, and it can restore stability in our lives. In a world turned upside down, it can keep us the right way up. On November 6 and 7, the Shabbat Project is again happening in more than 1,600 cities and 106 countries around the world. Every year, it brings together Jews of all ages and backgrounds and nationalities to keep one Shabbat together. This year, the call of the project is to bring Shabbat home. With the coronavirus continuing to upend daily life, our wonderful partners around the world have pivoted from the big citywide events to online virtual pre-Shabbat events and to a more intimate home-based experience over the Shabbat itself. The circumstances have driven us in this direction, but actually it is a unique opportunity, a gift from God to refocus our energies and make our homes the focal point of our Shabbat experience. Right now, we are all so desperate for a better world. We dream of it, and we can build it right here within our four walls. Everything we need is right where we are. That is why this year we are bringing Shabbat home to the place it really belongs. May this Shabbat be a force for unity and strength for the Jewish people. May we all find calm and comfort in Shabbat. And may this Shabbat truly be a Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Charlie Harari. Gaza Project Inspire, how you doing? I must tell you, it's been difficult after the past few months with this pandemic, not being able to see each other, no visitors, tourists, no Project Inspire trips coming to Eretz Israel, the land of Israel. By me, Shabbat Friday night is the best time of the week. All my children, thank God I have a gorgeous wife, 5 beautiful children, my princess and 4 boys. The rose among the thorns, I call her. You know, my boys, they all put on white shirts for the Shabbat. They wear white kippot. You know, white symbolizing purity. My little girl shows me how she puts white ribbons in her hair, especially for the Shabbat. And what happens is, we go to shul. When we come home from shul, as I open the door to my house, I get smacked by a smell of freshly baked challah. You know, the bread we have on a Friday night. There's nothing like it. We have the white tablecloth. The Shabbat candles are burning. And then we sing a song, Shalom Aleichem. It's a song that welcomes in the angels. And you know, as we finish the song, we have another custom. And that is we go to each one of our children. We place our hand on their head and we give them a bracha, we give them a blessing. The custom is to start with the oldest. My oldest is Gabriel. And as I place my hand on Gabriel's head, I get activated. There's a terrorist attack. You see, I don't have time to finish his blessing. I don't have time to go to each one of my children and tell them how much I love them. I have to grab my weapon and run out of the house as fast as possible. Guys, I want you to know that my children don't really understand where I'm going. I haven't really explained it. But they just know one thing, that there are Jews in danger. And their Abba, their daddy, has to go help. My wife has always understood. My wife has always known where I'm going and what I do. You know that my wife says that when I get activated, there's a terrorist attack, like on that Friday night. She cannot speak. She's too worried. She stays by the front door. We have a couch over there. Sits and waits because she knows there are 2 possibilities coming through that door. Number 1, it could be me. Number 2, God forbid, a uniformed soldier. You know, there's a unit that's responsible for informing families that their loved ones are not coming home. I must tell you, every single time I walk into my house after a terrorist attack, I can see the relief on my wife's eyes that it's me and not a strange uniformed soldier. It's then I go into the room of each of my children. They fast asleep, but I place my hand on their head and I give them a blessing. I give them a bracha because that night I got a blessing. That although I ran towards the danger, I ran towards the gunfire, Hashem kept me safe and He brought me back safely. It's an honor for me to protect my community here in the land of Israel. Hopefully you guys will be able to come and visit when this corona ends. But I want everyone to please pray for each other. Pray for each other that we can get out of this pain, the suffering that we're going through, that every Jew that is sick becomes healthy, and that God should look after every Jew, whether they're in the land of Israel, if they are in the United States of America, or as you can hear from South Africa. Let's look out for one another. Charlie, back to you. Thank you guys for listening. Stay safe and healthy.
And welcome back. Thank you so much, Steve, for that message. It's amazing to even think that there are families around the world right now that when the door opens up on a Friday night, they breathe, they take a deep breath, not knowing if it's their own family member coming back from protecting them or whether it's something worse. A shout out to all the soldiers that are protecting us. And may you have a Shabbat Shalom. May you be protected in everything that you're doing. The first message was from Chief Rabbi Warren Goldstein. We thank him for being a big part of that. We thank him for who he is and what he does for us and for that initial opening message. And as you know, this is being celebrated across the entire world. So I want to give a couple of shout outs here. Again, if you go to my Facebook and just give us a shout out, we'll get it right back to you over here. So I want to give a shout out to Brian Thal from Beit Shemesh. Shabbat Shalom, Beit Shemesh, that's Israel. They're watching. I don't know what time it is in Israel, but it is late. Rivka Tyler from Baltimore, Shabbat Shalom. Cindy Perlow, Shabbat Shalom to the Lincolns in Cleveland. To Esther Williger from Shabbat Shalom to you. To Bruce Leon and his family, Cubstown in Chicago, Shabbat Shalom to you. Samantha Gutman, Shabbat Shalom from Tobyhanna, Pennsylvania. Shabbat Shalom to the Novak family, and Shabbat Shalom to Racha Getz from Baltimore. Shabbat Shalom to you. And you know what? We're celebrating this across the country. So let's go to our brothers and sisters celebrating the Shabbat project across the world.
Hi, my name is Sherry Pearson, and this is my daughter,
Jade.
and we are excited to participate in the Shabbat project along with Gardens Jewish Experience this Shabbat. We're very excited for the
Virtual holiday.
That's right, and we're looking forward to being able to eat our own homemade challah during Shabbat, along with our candles and our wine. We're also looking forward to doing some tzedakah during this Shabbat. And we are going to donate to
An organization in Israel.
Yes, so we're very excited, and thank you, Gardens Jewish Experience, for this opportunity.
Hola, soy Ilana Michal de Guatemala. Recuerda que hoy estamos más unidos que nunca. Shabbat Shalom para todos desde Guatemala con todo nuestro cariño.
All of you from all around the world, the community of Panama wishes you Shabbat Shalom. Let's keeping it together.
Hi, Charlie. It's Simchat Tol in Adesha Torah, Detroit. So for the Shabbos Project, we're doing a whole bunch of things, but what I want to tell you about is our drive-in Havdalah. We're gonna pull in about 50 cars into the H parking lot, and we're going to give each one a Havdalah kit. You're gonna get a candle that you could open your sunroof up and you could stick it out the window. We're gonna give you besamim. We're gonna give you a little bottle of grape juice because that's all you could drink when you're driving. And you're gonna have a drive-in Havdalah. We're actually gonna have a Havdalah concert that's gonna be blasted through the FM airwaves to your car radio, so you could sing along to Havdalah. And so we're excited. So we're going to start Shabbos amazing. We're going to finish Shabbos with a drive-in Havdalah. And I wish you were in Detroit to experience it with us. Good Shabbos. And I wish you were in Detroit to experience it with us. Good Shabbos.
And good Shabbos to everybody. We appreciate all that you are and all that you do from around the world. Coming at you now is a good friend of mine, Nissan Black. Nissan Black has been a rapper, a gang member, and a faith seeker. But it is in his current incarnation that is here to stay. An African-American Hasidic Jew who brings sharp beats and hooked-filled rhymes to the masses. Here's what he has to say about Shabbat. Check this out.
The idea of unifying the Jewish people to keep a Shabbos is like the most amazing thing. I mean, like, it's been said, and we have an idea, of course, that if all the Jewish people were to keep Shabbos, if we just kept one, then it'll bring Mashiach and redemption will come. So that idea alone, the unity aspect of it, for me, no matter where a person's observance is or where they're holding, the fact that together, that all of Klal Yisrael is getting together under one cause and one purpose, that was the most amazing thing. Shabbat is important to me because it gives me the opportunity to stop. I mean, going so much throughout the week, and I'm laboring to do this and to do that, and my mind's all over here, and you have the kids and the family component, which is the most important thing in Judaism itself, and that receives the proper attention and the proper focus on Shabbat, which can't be necessarily achieved on any other day of the week. The Shabbat is giving life and sustenance and blessings to the other days of the week. It's the when a person experiences Shabbat and they're doing it with all of themselves and their whole entire heart and their being to the Shabbat, they begin to yearn for it every week. Every week, I need Shabbat, and that level of importance is built through that yearning. So by the time it comes, I mean, I find myself every week just Shabbat. It's got to end. I'm already, by the time we're at the third meal, I'm like, it's so depressing almost as to get that Shabbat's almost over, and I have to go through another week of yearning for Shabbat again. Somewhere centrally, we all come together and we all meet, and there's simcha, there's happiness, and there's acceptance, and that's a really beautiful thing about having Shabbat, at least in Seattle, I can say.
And welcome back. We have with us right now Rabbi Aryeh Wielgus. He's the regional director of New Jersey NCSY. Now, NCSY has taken on the Shabbat project with full force. They've launched their One Shabbat experience for the week of the Shabbat program. It's a featured mix of in-person and virtual programming, as well as the Shabbat box and materials that they have sent home. One Shabbat that they've launched will have more than 5,000 teens and families participating this weekend across the world. Rabbi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Charlie. It's great to be here.
So give us, for those who are not familiar, a little bit about what is NCSY?
What is NCSY? It's a tough question to answer. NCSY is really it's the youth movement of the Orthodox Union. We're a global movement of teens across the country, North America. We even have regions in Chile, Argentina, and in Israel. And our mission really is to connect with teenagers where they are and to inspire and empower them to connect to their Jewish community, to connect to their heritage, and to really connect to Judaism itself.
So it's amazing you say that, because I'm sure that the people that are watching right now probably have teenagers in their house. Sure. And they're probably asking themselves, like, I want my teenagers to taste the beauty of Shabbat, to be inspired. So what is it? You guys are the experts in the field. How do you inspire a teenager in today's day and age to appreciate something like Shabbat?
It's a great question, and really every teenager is going to need something a little different. And I think that's the first secret of NCSY, is really the ability of our staff and advisors to connect on a real level, person to person with the teens, to care about them, and they feel that care, and really to give them that magic of NCSY in the way that they need. But I think that the question really speaks more than anything else. NCSY's secret was the introduction of Shabbos to not just our programming, to be the backbone of what our programming is. Teens are thriving when they're able to connect with Shabbos, when they're able to, especially in today's day and age, put down their phones for a few minutes, put down social media, which is such a whirlwind for them, and to just connect with their friends around them, with the advisors, the staff, and most of all with Shabbos itself. And I think Shabbos now with our teenagers is not just something that we have to do because it's part of our bread and butter. It's something that really they thrive in and love. And I think one of the biggest challenges of COVID for us as an organization was how do we provide the NCSY Shabbos magic? And that's what we're doing this weekend.
You know what's amazing is that as I'm hearing you speak, having teenagers of my own who are wonderful, and I hope that they're watching right now, but just teenagers in general, they just live a different language, right? Teenagers live on screens. They live on them. They breathe through them. They communicate through them. They're digital sort of natives, so to speak, right? And when we think about Shabbat, it's almost contrary to the entire way that someone lives today. What I'm hearing you say, and I want to sort of delve into, is that NCSY, and I've had the pleasure and the privilege to be on many NCSY Shabbatons, and it's something that wherever you are in the world, if there's an NCSY branch near you, get your kids involved because it's magic. But what's interesting is that one would think that the kids would be pulling back from these live or these unplugged experiences, but my guess is that it's actually the opposite.
Sure. I mean, I remember the first time I ran TJJ, which is our public school summer program in Israel for 4 weeks. It's an incredible program, and so many of the teens, this is their first, immersive Jewish experience. And that first Shabbos I was running it, I tried something. I brought out a box and I said, no pressure whatsoever. If you guys want to unplug, throw your phone in. We're going to put it back in your room. You can take it at any time. And everyone, of course, throws it in the beginning, but how long are they going to... And by the end of Shabbos, I think the majority of the bus didn't go for their phones.
Amazing.
And I don't think any of them thought when they put it in that they weren't going to go for their phones. And we don't force anything on them. We're not pressuring them into Shabbos. On the contrary, we're providing, the opportunity for them at their own experience, at their own level to connect. And so many of them are looking for that experience.
Yeah, I find that for families that we're connected to and close to, that the first resistors are teenagers to any level of Shabbat, but once they realize it and breathe it, they live on it. There's something that it brings to them that they just can't get anywhere else in the world.
100%. I mean, you'll see the video in a few minutes. That's really the big question that NCSY was challenged with in its inception. What are you going to do with teens on Shabbos?
Right.
It's a crazy thought.
Right.
And I think, 70 years, close to 70 years now, we're showing that not only can teenagers have a Shabbos, they love it, they thrive in it, and we need to be able, they're not taking no for an answer from us, during COVID of there's no Shabbatons, there's no Shabbos meals, no way, you can't sit down, and that's what we're trying to do, is to be able to give them that magic of the NCSY Shabbos, even in this, in this time, and even, without the typical Shabbos trappings.
Amazing. So I know you're running this One Shabbat program, so let's go to a video from it. It's happening right now, right?
Right now, as we speak, we're launching.
Okay, so let's go to a video from that event right now.
NCSY was established in 1954. The idea of creating Shabbos programming for Jewish teens seemed fantastical. Rabbi Pinchas Stolper, the first international director of NCSY, recalled that one time he suggested Shabbos programming for teens in the community. The community responded, "What could you possibly do with our teens on Shabbos? Shabbos means there are no electronics. Shabbos means there are no trips. And Shabbos means there's no live music. What could you possibly do with our teens on Shabbos?" But nearly 70 years later, tonight, we look at the story of two NCSY teens and how Shabbos played a pivotal role in their Jewish development.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Kopetman. I am from Southern NCSY, and I went on TJJ 3 summers ago. TJJ ignited a passion within me for Judaism that I never thought was possible. One of my favorite moments from TJJ was my last Shabbat. My advisor, Shalev, asked me to keep the first half of Shabbat. So he told me to put my phone away and to not touch it all of the nighttime. And I woke up in the morning and I felt no need to touch my phone. And then I got through all 25 hours of Shabbat, and I was very proud of myself. All of us were singing, and we were so into it, and we were sad because it was our last Shabbat together. Windows from the hotel opened up, and all of these Jews from different places started screaming back to us. And it became this huge universal thing. And it was the first time that I realized that no matter what type of Jew you are, whether you're Orthodox or Reform, traditional, conservative, we all have one connection, and that's the Torah. And that was the moment that I realized that it doesn't matter what type of Jew you are, we're all connected and we're all a family, we're all related. And that was very eye-opening for me. Something that happens every week is my friends at school ask me, do you want to go to a party on Friday night? And I say, no, I'm sorry, I have Shabbat. And so one time I actually invited 30 kids to come to my house for Shabbat. And they loved it so much that one day they were all going to a party and they said, instead we want Shabbat. And I was sitting in the basement at my school and everyone around me cheered, we want Shabbat, we want Shabbat. And I was freaking out because there's some Jews that don't even they keep Shabbat, but they don't love it. Or there's some Jews that don't even know what it is. But I have non-Jews and Jews in my public school screaming, we want Shabbat. It was just crazy.
There was this fantastic experience that we'd had on NCSY Kollel. And after NCSY Kollel, what are you going to do? We went back, all the public school kids. We are from Northern Virginia. There's not a big Jewish, active, observant community to go back to. So what were we going to do? They came up with this idea that they would bring some kids down from New Jersey for the Shabbat. And we'd all have something, we'd really put in a lot of effort into making this Shabbat something special. It was hard for everybody. You have all these kids from New Jersey who are coming down after school, and they brought down all these people to us, and everybody put in so much, and because everybody was putting in so much, it really made that Shabbat something really special.
Incredible, right? It's just unbelievable, the power of NCSY, the power of teenagers around the world to be inspired by our religion, by our customs, by our tradition, and by our heritage. Shabbat has this way of getting into all of our insides, and a big, huge kudos to Rabbi Wielgus for being here and the entire NCSY team who are doing such great work around the country. Look them up, NCSY, they're doing such great things. A couple more shout outs for those that are sending in on my Facebook page. To Esther Fariba, Shabbat Shalom to you, and to Karen Pizer from Dallas, Texas, Shabbat Shalom to you. Milu, Shabbat Shalom to her, and a special shout out to her one-on-one partner. Don't forget, one-on-one's big over here. Linda, Yossi Friedman, who is the back end of the show, who's producing a part of the show from Israel right now, 4:30 a.m. Israel time. Bet Jane Zuckerbrow from Smithtown, New York, Shabbat Shalom to you. Melissa Popel in Miami, Shabbat Shalom to the Popels. Shabbat Shalom to the Jacobo family. Thank you so much. And of course to Michael Weingard. Shabbat Shalom to you. Feel free to throw some Shabbat Shaloms on my Facebook page. And please, feel free to go to Project Inspire's Facebook page. Like it. And we will put you into a raffle, and on the show, by the end of the show, we'll be able to draw a winner that's going to get those new Apple AirPods. Like I said, we've been doing this right now. This is going on around the world. Wherever you're sitting from, I want you to feel this sense that you're not sitting in your home behind your screen alone. You are connected spiritually to Jews across the globe, doing this right now, this weekend. So let's go around and see some more people around the world celebrating Shabbat.
Hi, Charlie. This is Nancy and Sophie Greff, half of the Greff family from JFX in Cleveland, Ohio. And what we love about Shabbat is eating lots of challah, playing games, and taking little Rosie for long walks. Shabbat Shalom!
Hello, I'm Shelley Kress, coming to you from Boulogne-Billancourt, which is a suburb of Paris in France. I'm originally South African, and 6 years ago I introduced the Shabbos Project to the community here. Since then, a fantastic team from Emunah, the association, and the local community has been organizing a great big challah bake for more than 500 women and girls over the age of bat mitzvah. We've just gone back into lockdown, so this year we're organizing a series of Zoom conferences in the run-up to the Shabbos Project next week. And so to you, wherever you are across the world, every single one of you very special members of Am Yisrael, we wish you Shabbat Shalom.
Hi, I'm Alexandra. I'm Natalie. I'm Avital. And we're from J-Wave Hazar. This This Shabbat, I'm excited to light the candles. I'm excited to make challah this Shabbat. And we're excited to keep Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
This summer, I miss getting to spend quality time with my friends in Camp Nagila. That makes me think about how fortunate we Jews are to have Shabbos, which allows us to spend quality time with friends and family. Shabbos is the ultimate camp experience. We love Shabbos in Camp Nagila.
This summer, I really missed learning more about my purpose and meaning in life, which is something I learned in Camp Nagila. This made me think about how fortunate we are as Jews to have Shabbos, where we're told to think about our purpose and meaning in life. Shabbos is the ultimate camp experience. We love Shabbos and Camp Nagila.
Everyone join along with us. Oh Navinu Chai, oh Navinu Chai, oh Navinu, oh Navinu, oh Navinu Chai, oh Navinu Chai, oh Navinu Chai, oh Navinu, oh Navinu, oh Navinu Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael.
Our in-house band, Coldplay, an honor to have you on. Of course, remember, we gotta, for those who are out, please check us out on Facebook. Go to Project Inspire on Facebook, like it, and we will enter you into a raffle that we will pull on this show to either win those cool new Apple AirPods or a modern menorah. So check out Facebook, and of course, you can go online as well. A little bit of a shout out what's coming up next before we get to our next guest. Kedem Wines had sent over a whole bunch for us to show you the different wines that could frequent your Shabbat table. So if you happen to have a bottle of wine handy and you'd like to make a l'chaim, we're doing l'chaims at around 10:05. So in about, I don't know what time it is, like 15 minutes from now. It'd be nice when we make l'chaims, we're going to have a special guest in here. We make l'chaims and the different wines that we could be drinking on Shabbat. Why not bring it in a chawap early? It wouldn't hurt anybody for a l'chaim on a Thursday night. So please feel free to go get a glass, go get a bottle of wine, and in about 15, 20 minutes we can make a l'chaim together. Our next guest is an incredible individual. She is the founding director of Momentum, formerly JWRP. Lori Palatnik is a world-renowned educator, speaker, writer, and media personality. She's lectured all over the world. I am blessed to be involved in Momentum at a very deep level on the men's trip. And for those men that are watching here, thank you so much. And I can actually see firsthand the impact that Momentum has on the entire world, and in particular, Lori Palatnik, the impact that she has. Check out Lori Palatnik. So Lori, thank you so much for being here on the show. I know you're so busy. Thanks for making time and being on the show here.
My pleasure, Charlie. It's so great to see you.
It's so great to see you. And how is Israel? How is the rabbi? How's everyone doing over there in our homeland?
Well, Israel's amazing. We miss you, and Israel misses you. But I want to tell you that I don't know how things are going in the 5 towns and in America with COVID, but here, I really have been in almost like a self-imposed bidud quarantine since the beginning of March. So one day though, the Wi-Fi wasn't working and I was really freaked out. What are we going to do? And my husband is not so technically he's like, I have no idea what to do. So this is what I always do. It's happened 2 or 3 times over the years here that the Wi-Fi didn't work. So what do? I unplug it, I pray, and then I plug it back in. And then it always starts again. Then the lights come on, boop, 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 yay. But when I pray, I always pray because our Rabbi Noah Weinberg of blessed memory, always taught us that the essence of prayer is what do you want and why do you want it? Wow. So when it's not working, I always think okay, what do I want? I want Wi-Fi. Why? What am I doing? What am I watching on the laptop? What am I using it for? Am I appreciating? That's what I go through. Now, has it ever happened to you that your phone just it's just not working? It freezes up. Oh, or your laptop. Did it ever happen that your laptop is just doing weird things and you try this, you try that? So Charlie, what do you do when you don't know what to do?
You shut it off and turn it on again. That's the way to do it.
But Charlie, that's Shabbos. That's Shabbat.
Beautiful.
All week long, especially this week.
Oh, yeah.
We are overloaded. Oh, yeah. How much information, how much anxiety, how many challenges. Throughout COVID, it's been unbelievable. And now this week, Hashem threw even more. Yeah. And the whole world is watching and we're up all night long and I don't know what. Thank God for Shabbat. I work very hard. I know you work hard too, Charlie, but I work very hard. Thank God for Shabbat. Thank God with everything that's going on in my mind and dealing with everybody's lives and all the challenges that's happening and the politics and the economic threats and just name all these things. This is my Friday. I wake up, I deal with things that happened Thursday while I was sleeping back at head office. But I'm also making Shabbos, making Shabbat. My kids used to come home Friday afternoon after after school, and they would walk in and they would always say, "It smells like Shabbos," because there's chicken soup, and there's homemade challah, and we are setting up. We've been eating out on the merpaset outside because of COVID, so we have guests and we'll have them distance from us. It's beautiful outside, beautiful. And then I start powering down. My kids all call from all over the world. They're calling for their bracha, for their blessing. That my husband makes sure that he gives their blessing before Shabbat starts here. And they're calling to talk to me and we're catching up and that's what's going on Shabbat. And I don't know if you follow any of the talk shows, that had to be in their own kind of quarantine. Jimmy Kimmel, he said his wife declared Fridays are formal Fridays. Friday is formal Friday because everybody's wearing sweats. Everybody's just wearing pajama bottoms. I don't know if you're wearing pajama bottoms, we don't have to get personal, but people aren't buying pants anymore, apparently. Apparently pajama bottoms went way up, okay? And people aren't you aren't buying shoes. People aren't doing, there's certain things. And everybody's sitting around in their jammies and their sweats. And so Jimmy Kimmel's wife said, Fridays are formal Fridays. And they started dressing up. And then his audience started dressing up, hashtag formal Fridays. And I'm thinking, hashtag formal Fridays, that's us. And other people were saying, every day just seems like the same day. People are like, what day is it? What day is it? Because everything is just sort of a blur. But when you have Shabbos, when you have Shabbat, it marks the week. Everything leads to it. It's the pinnacle of the week. It's a marker in time. It becomes this oasis. And when you power down, and I do wait for the last minute because I'm dealing with work, I'm dealing with my kids, like talking to my kids and all the things that are happening. And then I power down and I power down and I shut it off and I'm free. I'm free because we really are a slave to this. We really become addicted to the 24-hour news cycle. Used to be that it was like there was the 6 o'clock news when I grew up. Now there's no 6 o'clock news. It's constant. Yeah. And you can't get away from it, and you become addicted to it, and you become. But what's going to happen? What if something happens in the world, in the election, or while I'm off? Well, what are you going to do about it if it did happen and you were watching? Like, what do you think? You control it?
Lori, what a great perspective, especially during this week, to be able to really get that it's really a gift that we have the opportunity to retract into the spiritual safe space where we get to really, like you say, power down and then sort of soul up. That was Lori Palatnik. Thank you so much for doing that. That's incredible. And it's so true, the ability to really power down and realize what Shabbat can give us. Thank you, Lori, for who you are and for what you bring to this. Now we've got, remember, one-on-ones. Make sure that you're texting to 97,000, one-on-one to 97,000. We've had, since the beginning of the Shabbat show, I think this is like number 29 for us. I don't know. The guys will tell me what number we're up to, but since it started, literally dozens of new study partners have begun. If you want to study anything about anything, you want to do this. Text 101 to 97,000. A couple more shout outs before we continue. Shout out to Isaac and Edie Gross, huge partners of the Jewish people and of Project Inspire. Thank you so much for watching. Brad Cohen, Shabbat Shalom to you. The Sheplowitz family, continue all the wonderful work that you're doing in Palm Beach Gardens. Shabbat Shalom to Eileen Glazer Miller from Atlanta, and Shabbat Shalom to all that are watching from all over. Thank you so much for doing that. Today we had the opportunity to come to these beautiful studios. These studios actually is housed in the Art Scroll Publications building. Now, if you don't know what Art Scroll is, it is the largest producer of Jewish books, especially Jewish books that have been translated. If you go to most shuls across the country, if you see a blue chumash in the bookshelves, that's coming from here. If you see a Schottenstein maroon Talmud, so many books that go out and inspire and elucidate and explain Jewish texts and Jewish ideas actually comes from this place. The president of Art Scroll is a man named Rabbi Gedalia Zlotowitz. He's the son of the legendary Rabbi Meir Zlotowitz, who's the founder of Art Scroll. When I got in here, I got to tell you honestly, I've got all their books in my house. Like, I live and breathe Art Scroll books. And I had to I couldn't just come to the studios. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. It's like, I went to Pennsylvania to see how they make Hershey Kisses. You know what I'm saying? If I'm here at Art Scroll Studios, I want to see how they make the books. So I asked them for a tour, and they took me around to the back to see how some of these books are being made and the thought that went into them. Check out this moment that I had here at Art Scroll Publications' main corporate office.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming. It's so nice to have you here.
I gotta tell you, I'm blown away a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I just have these books on my shelf. This is where it happens.
Well, it's amazing. Let me show you how it happens. And as we're talking, we'll talk about the impact of the different things that we do. The books. It's all over the world, and it starts right here in Rahway, New Jersey, and it just gets out there all over the world. Come, let's go do it. Over here, for example, we're running the Talmud. So, we'll pull one out over here. This is a copy of the Talmud that it has been around, we know, for thousands of years.
And now more than ever, people are studying Talmud, even beginners. Just walk into a store and they say, I want to try one volume. And we always tell people, start with a page. Don't think of the Talmud, oh my gosh, the Talmud. No, one page. It'll go into your soul, and then you're going to go from that page, and you're just going to go through, it's going to change your life. It's amazing.
You don't realize how big this, as a kid growing up, I remember I was in school, and I remember getting tests on Talmud.
Right.
And we had no idea, like no clue. And I remember when Art School would come up with a new version, we would pray that it would be the version we were learning. When we first started doing this,
wow.
At least 1 and 2, right? So when word came out that you did what we were doing in school, it was like we went nuts.
Right.
And now,
it's unreal. We have everything.
Every way.
Listen, you know what happened at the Grand Siyum Hashas, you know, there are tens of thousands of people who never in their life thought that they would study Talmud. I mean, you went to yeshiva, we said, when this is over, I'm done.
Right.
And now it's part of our life. We love it.
Yeah.
We love it. And it just made it so accessible. It's beautiful.
What's so beautiful is that when you walk into a shul, anywhere in the country for sure, there's always something that, you have the blue chumash, right? Like you always have that stone chumash. That's probably the
Stone chumash is the flagship product.
Yeah. Is that the biggest seller?
Biggest seller by far. Because anyone could relate to it.
Yeah.
Anyone could pick up a stone chumash, even if you're not ready for Talmud or Mishnah. You pick up a chumash, it's the weekly parsha, just a story of the 5 books of Moses with a beautiful explanation. It's for everyone.
And it's like even the colors. It's so now the colors feel like home. Because those colors are in my shul.
That's right.
Those colors are in your shul.
And when you see it, it's like it's my friend. My friend in Stone Chumash.
So true. What an opportunity.
It's so beautiful. And look what's going on over here. It's just unbelievable. Thousands of books coming through a day. You know, we tell people we have something for every age and every background. Here, look over here, Isaiah. Just a beautiful way to study Isaiah. Anyone could pick this up. The Hebrew, the English, the commentary, it just talks to you. Anyone could do this.
You're making the entire Bible, commentaries, Talmud accessible to everybody.
The goal was always to break the language barrier. There was a language barrier of the English-speaking Jew said, I can't study Torah. Torah is written in Hebrew, Aramaic. You can. Now you can. Everything is available for you.
And with Art Scroll, you allow every age to engage at a sophisticated level at wherever background they're in.
Start here and then build your way up.
So true.
You know the story with the accidental Talmudist?
Sure.
What happened with him? He walked in, and every time he walked into the store, he saw this wall of the Schottenstein Talmud. And one day he walks in, he says, you know what, I'm going to try. And he pulls off the shelf volume 1. And he walks up to the counter and says, I would like to buy this. And the person says, you're starting Daf Yomi? He says, what did I do wrong? Like, what's Daf Yomi? That was the first day that they started the new cycle of doing a page a day of the Talmud. He couldn't read Hebrew. And he took upon himself that every day he's going to do 1 page and he's going to read the English and he'll graduate, and over time he'll do the Hebrew. And he said it changed his life. He brought spirituality into his life. He never thought it was possible.
So true.
But we always say the importance of a Jewish library in someone's home. Even for the children to see, have Jewish books. Even if it's not Talmud and Torah, just reading books, story books, children's books with a Jewish theme. It changes your home. Your home becomes a different home. And we encourage everyone, start with a few books. Put it on your shelf. Read to your children at night. Read together with a spouse. And you'll be a different person.
How many non-Bible, Talmud type books do you publish a year?
About 40 a year.
Wow.
40 books.
Wow, that's a lot.
That just speak about
English,
God, spirituality, stories, inspiration, children's books. There's something for everyone.
You can get, if I go to artschool.com, you can literally see a library of hundreds of English books about life, about spirituality. Not just the Talmud, not just the Torah,
100%. Anything. You pick a topic, it's there.
Kids, adults, teenagers.
Prayer, spirituality, history, Jewish history, children's books, whatever you want.
Everyone should be on artschool.com. Everybody. Everybody.
We encourage everyone.
Everybody.
And we're here for everybody.
Really, this is something that's
Thank you so
special.
much. It was great having you here.
You should give tours. You should have people just come running through.
Everyone's invited. Just call in advance. We'll give them the same tour.
Amazing.
Charlie's
Thank you so
been
much.
great.
Really
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My name is Desi Rotenberg.
I'm Navin Burns in Arizona.
I've been part of Project Inspire for almost a year now.
I'm from Brazil, and I have been a part of the one-on-one learning program for over a year now.
I just didn't have a Jewish education. My parents are from the former Soviet Union where it was illegal to learn.
I grew up in a family where unfortunately Judaism and the culture was not passed down, so I didn't know anything coming into this program.
We talk about everything from life to liberty to the pursuit of happiness.
We started learning once a week. She has made such a huge impact in my life, and she just really met me where I was in a totally non-judgmental way.
So whatever comes up with relation to Judaism and Torah and Talmud and Mishnah and Kabbalah and anything, we just kind of talk about it and put it out there.
Project Inspire has enriched my life by enabling me to set aside 30 minutes to an hour each week and dedicate time to learning about different schools of thought.
If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't know how to read Hebrew.
It's really beautiful to see how Judaism shapes my everyday life, where I would have never even realized that before.
So I highly recommend getting matched up with a one-on-one partner if you are looking for a personalized way to stay connected with Judaism in your busy life.
I'm very much looking forward to growing in my Judaism and my faith and having a stronger impact on the world around me because of it. Thank you, Project Inspire, and I can't thank you enough, so thanks.
Thank you so much. You know, we have good friends out in Kedem that came by and dropped off a box of wines that we can use at our Shabbat table. Like, come on, if you're having Shabbat meal, we got to have Shabbat meal with wine. We got to be able to eat and enjoy and drink. Now, we have a very good friend of Project Inspire and of me personally, a man named Jay Buxbaum, who couldn't make it here, but he came by personally to drop it off. He is the Vice President of Marketing and Director of Consumer Education at the Royal Wine Corp and is one of the hosts at the kosher.com show Swirl. He is one of the top experts in kosher wine and travels the world for the best kosher vintages. We had him on previous Shabbat shows. I am sure we're going to have him on future Shabbat shows. And we thank you, Jay, and we thank you for being such a close friend to this program. So we have here now another wine connoisseur who's also the band leader, guitarist. Aryeh, thank you so much for joining us on this segment right now.
I'm so excited.
I didn't know you were a five-tool player and you were able to do it all, but I'm happy we know now.
Thank you for bringing me on for this part, not just playing guitar. This is exciting.
So take us through these different wines.
Sure.
Take our guests through what each wine means and where you can put each wine in different parts of the meal.
Sure. So the first wine we have is the Bartenura Rosé. It's a sparkling rosé, and this is what this week is our Kiddush wine of choice. It's a celebratory type of wine, and this week, since we're celebrating the Shabbos project, this is kind of the perfect bottle. So yeah,
you pop that on a Shabbos table, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Exactly, and it's got the champagne style opener, so you can make a whole scene out of it.
Right.
Next, we have California wine, the Herzog Lineage Sauvignon Blanc, 2019. This pairs really nicely with a fish.
Right.
It's very light, it's very nice, and goes great with, happens to be dairy, but for Shabbos we're going to go with fish.
Or if you're having a dairy meal.
Or if you're having a dairy meal too, this is a great wine to have. Moving on over, also California, and also Herzog. We have the Baron Herzog Cabernet Sauvignon, great wine. This goes fantastic with meat, red meat, excellent chicken, and it's a fantastic bottle.
Yeah, I saw they brought in a whole bunch of great red wines.
Yeah.
You know, full bouquets, really great for the middle of the meal, really great for that meat-heavy meal.
Yeah, and this is like a nice, thicker Cabernet type of wine, so it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then we have our dessert wine. Now, yeah, this is a Tsafona Cellars, and I think you have a little bit of intel on this bottle.
For those who are coming in now, we have close friends, the Burkals, who are the producers of Tsafona. They've got incredible wines. They've been sending me their red wines for a while because I think it's one of the best. But yeah, great winery as well. They do great work. So thank you so much for sending this over to us. Yeah, this is the dessert wine.
And I think it would be, first of all, we have an opportunity with all these bottles of wine, but we have an opportunity to...
So what is this? So now
this is we got to go to our Israel wine. It's the Barkan Classic Pinot Noir.
We got to take care of the homeland.
Yeah, it's a Pinot Noir, which is a little bit of a lighter wet red wine. Also pairs really nicely with your main course, with your meat. And, well, I mean...
Since it's open.
We should take advantage.
Thank
Exactly.
you so much. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to begin Shabbat a drop earlier. And really, if you have any type of wine, or you're drinking anything right now, we're going to make a l'chaim together on the show. For wherever you are in the world, let's make a l'chaim. So l'chaim to you and your family. May we have a week filled with peace and wisdom. May we realize how lucky we are. May we appreciate what God gave us. May we have the faith to know that He's going to take good care of us. May we appreciate the things that we have in our lives, delve into spirituality and enjoy the physical world. L'chaim to life, Shabbat Shalom, l'chaim to you. Baruch atah, Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. Oh wow.
Yep.
That's really great.
That works.
Kevin knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Guys, you did a great job. Really excellent. Please feel free to get many of these bottles for your Shabbat table. You can check out Kedem. They've got, everything. Check out Tsafona. They're amazing. Arya's going to be playing music after the bottle of wine, so the show's only going to get better.
Yeah.
It's been awesome until now.
What you've seen until now is just the starting point.
And it's only going to get better. All right.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much. And we're looking forward to the next things. And of course, feel free to please give us the shout outs. You can go to my Facebook page here. I want to give a couple of more shout outs to the Hirsch family, Shabbat Shalom, to Melissa Mayer, Shabbat Shalom to you, to Miriam Leibowitz, Shabbat Shalom, and Tamara Livingston, Shabbat Shalom to you. And Aryeh, thanks so much for being a part of this show, and thanks for being on. Continue being who you are and shining your light into the world.
Amen.
Okay, l'chaim. Excited for what's next, and check out the following video.
This is a moment of national emergency.
We're at war. You must stay at home.
And that was an incredible video from Olami. Olami is an incredible organization. We're sitting here right now with the managing director and COO of Olami, Rabbi David Markowitz, is on the show. Rabbi Dave, thanks so much for being here.
Hey, Charlie, how are you?
Oh, it's so great. Rabbi Markowitz is the managing director and COO of Olami, which is a global community of college campuses and young professional outreach organizations across the world. He oversees over 300 organizations in 30 countries, reaching 50,000 students per year. Rabbi, thanks so much for joining us on the show.
It's an absolute pleasure. Charlie, anytime we can co-host together,
Oh
we're
my gosh.
gonna always have a good time.
Oh my
From MetLife
gosh.
Stadium to wherever we're going to go around the world, Spain, it's always great to be here, but there's nothing better than coming in to celebrate Shabbat.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that video that you produced just now that everybody saw was awesome. You're doing so many of these things around the world, around the country. Give us a sense of what's taking place on campuses, what's taking place in terms of spiritual challenges, how Shabbat fits in. Share with us from your perspective of college students, young professionals, what you're seeing in LMA.
So actually, Charlie, something that you said to one of our educators, Rabbi Shalom Garfinkel, he called me today. He says, you got to tell Charlie. He told us over the summer, he says, some companies, they come in through this whole Corona thing, they're not going to make it. It doesn't matter, the money, the people, it doesn't matter. What matters is if they have clarity of their mission. If they know what they're trying to achieve, then the means to get there might change, but they'll get there. Yeah. And what our educators saw around the world is that Shabbat, that's a centerpiece of what students around the world are celebrating with us all the time. But it's usually these big blowout weekends. It's, we're traveling around the world to Spain or to Brazil, or we're having big centers in all around New York, Los Angeles, Chicago. It's great. Everybody gets to come together, 50, 100 people in a Shabbat meal, and it's all stopped. And for basically the last year, all of a sudden the extravaganza of Shabbat, which allowed students to be able to taste and touch what a Shabbat experience is like, all went away. So we had to really think, and the educators all scratched their heads, and they said, all right, Shabbat's got to continue.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. We reached out to the field, and we said, all right, tell us what's happening now. And we got the top 10 hits of Shabbat through Corona.
Okay, I'm ready for them.
So we're going to go through a few.
Let's do it.
I'll let you jump in wherever you want, because you know some of these things. Okay?
Let's do it. I love this. The top 10 list.
Here we go, the top 10 list, okay? So we heard from Rabbi Jack Malol in Ashlit in Los Angeles. They opened 4 Shabbat houses. They have students who are running houses, small groups. They took the same 60 to 100 kids that come every Friday night, and they're having now all student-led Shabbat meals. For the first time, they always say, we can't do it. The rabbi isn't.
Right.
They're doing it.
Smaller, with all the right restrictions, but they made it more personal and intimate.
Smaller, more personal and intimate. Rabbi Mendy Bruchier in Manhattan, he has a personalized set place. Meal, rolls, food, everything for each student in his home. They host small groups in their home, spaced socially, and they're continuing. Each one, it's unbelievable. You should see the pictures.
I can't. I'm loving it.
He says, there's no more cutting challah. We can't do that. Each one, students are coming in, and they're doing it, and the kids are like, oh, this is unbelievable. Yeah. Each one in their homes.
Let me pause you for 1 second. For those that are watching, I just want to make sure that I am digesting this because I'm enjoying this so much. These are individuals who have dedicated their lives to inspiring Jewish college students and young professionals across the world.
Exactly.
You're reaching from you're putting your hands around the globe, and nobody stops. And this is the beauty of what you're saying right now. I want everyone just to appreciate this. When the going gets tough, they don't roll over and go, whatever, we'll pick up Shabbat whenever we can. These are these ideas, and you're at 2 and I'm already blown.
Yeah, and listen to this, okay? Just listen to the amount of people. This is where it's going on, okay? And maybe we don't realize how much is happening and how many people who never had a Shabbat meal in their lives are now having Shabbat meals. Rabbi Shalom Garfinkel in Chicago with his colleague Aryeh Marcus, working at Project 613. Rabbi Zev Pomerantz in Eitz Chaim in Baltimore. Odell Yanel in France, Eliezer Noy in Berlin, Germany, and Marcelo Ellenberg in Morasha in Uruguay. Okay, we are talking all over the world. Every week, they're packaged full Shabbat meals. Little bottle of wine, 2 little rolls, candles. You got to see them. It's gorgeous. They're on Facebook there. A full meal, chicken, fish, the whole thing, dessert, packaged up, and they drive around and they deliver one by one, thousands of meals every single Shabbat.
Amazing.
Out of control.
Shabbat
must go on. No matter what happens, every single one of them. They just had now, for this Shabbat project weekend, in Moscow, they had a competition for making challah and separating off the challah, posting the best picture on Instagram, and winning a raffle. They're going to announce it tomorrow.
Wow, it's so great.
They're nonstop.
This is what it's about. This is what the Jewish people are about. This is what we're about. This is it. We are about never going down because circumstances are hard. This is the modern day version of people that were walking for miles or, living behind the Iron Curtain and continuing to practice. This is what's happening in today's day and age. And I'm so happy everyone's hearing this. It's happening right now through the Olami world, across the world, not in the 1940s and the 1950s. This is happening 2020 right now.
There are 1,000 couples in 30 countries who have 50,000 students who never knew anything about Shabbat, who didn't grow up with Shabbat in their homes, that are celebrating Shabbat.
Incredible.
Even through Corona, even through social distancing, even though you can't come to my house for Shabbat, so what? So what? We're going to find a way to do it.
I love it. I love it.
24/6. 24/6. In Israel, there are 25 centers that created a new program called 24/6. They spend 24 hours learning about the laws of Shabbat. They called it 24/6. They had students stayed up through the night. The students completed it, and they got a full Shabbat package. A challah board, a kiddush cup, a washing cup, a hot plate, a hot water urn, the whole thing.
Shabbos lamp.
You should see these kids walking out. They're like, I didn't know this thing. It's unbelievable, right? Hundreds of kids all across, Israelis who didn't grow up with Shabbat in Israel.
So great. I'm loving this.
Okay.
Highlights.
Shabbos Circle. The Shabbos Circle is a group
I want to hear
of students.
about that, yeah.
Group of students who said, you know what, we're going to keep Shabbat in our home. We don't know how to do that. So they created a group that gets together on Thursday nights online, and they talk about Shabbat. They talk about, okay, how are we going to do it? And what do we do? And we never did this before. Shabbos Circle from Liat Gorelick with Seriously Sold. They have hundreds of girls online every week learning about Judaism, and they created the Shabbos Circle. Your dear friend, Shlomo Reich, sends into us from the 5 towns. They have a new program for guys called the Shar. It's rocking. These guys are celebrating every single week. They have Thursday evening one-on-one learning with the community members. And they're learning about what is Shabbat. Every person is getting involved. They have tons of people coming from the community and from the students.
Pause for a second. These are, just to be clear, these are individuals who have never had Shabbat before. They're just open to an experience, and they're able to tap into something even without the background.
Listen, Charlie, I started 15 years ago in UCLA, as a campus rabbi. We went on campus, we invited a student to come for Shabbat. He said, you want to come for a Shabbat dinner? He says, Rabbi, that sounds like really lovely. Like, what night of the week is that?
Wow.
I had no idea. That's what we're talking about.
Wow, it's so powerful. It's so powerful.
Just to round it out, Rabbi Benji Morgan in JLE in London, our dear friend, he has every Motzei Shabbat, every Saturday night, an online Havdalah concert. So many of our educators are performing. They're having, students never had Havdalah before. You go online now, every Saturday night, there's tons of ways to celebrate the ending of Shabbat. In Moscow, Sarah Katz created the No Screen Challenge. Students say, you know what, I could put the phone down for a few hours, it's okay. And finally, Rabbi Shlomo Blackman in East Toronto, gorgeous. They created a Chesed project. And their students are getting together every week. They package 300 Shabbat kits for people who are sick, and they partnered with Bikur Cholim. They help people who are sick, the organization. They learn about the organization, and they're able to then tell the students about those sick people and how the community is helping them, and package Shabbat packages for them. Top 10 hits from around the world.
Wow, what an incredible list. To me, it speaks about so many themes that this show is about Jewish unity, about Jewish resilience. And maybe the theme that really speaks the most right now to me, and I hope to everyone who's listening, is this relevance that Shabbat has today to every single Jew. It's not for just a few Jews that grew up with the background. It's not about whether you get everything right on the first time. It's not about that. It's really not. It's a celebration of the day that we all have together as a nation, whatever you can do. And what I'm hearing is it's not based on denomination or background or country. Everyone around the world wants to get some taste of it. And it's really on every one of us to sort of bring it into our lives and to the people around us.
Yeah, and listen, when Corona hit, everybody said, oh man, we can't do it anymore. It's not going to work. And what's amazing is that this year, for the first time, Shabbat is at home for everyone.
Yeah.
And everyone's accessing it. It's no longer over there at some rabbi's house where he's going to make it this special experience. Every single one of us has that opportunity to celebrate.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing that we're trying to figure out, is how can we spread and educate so that people have the opportunity to choose Shabbat in their homes.
Yeah.
And thank God we see it everywhere. We're having tens of thousands of people. And we actually created a little video to share with everybody so that they can see the beauty of Shabbat.
Amazing.
That it's not just, we can have the top 10, and it is amazing.
It
The
is
educators are fantastic, and the students are
Olami
fantastic.
is amazing.
Well, we're very blessed to be able to celebrate it together with you. But the students have really embraced this, and we'll see students everywhere. Like a picture is worth 1,000 words, but a video is something just, can't even say it.
Incredible.
So let's see, really, but everyone has the opportunity and the choice to celebrate Shabbat. And thank God it's happening.
Amazing. So let's check out that video that we have here about Shabbat, produced by Olami. We thank you, Rabbi Dave, for being on the show.
Thanks so much, Charlie.
Continue doing what you're doing, man. You're lighting up the world one Jew at a time.
Amen. Thank you, brother.
Let's go to that video.
Turning off my phone for the next 25 hours.
Shabbat is coming!
Shabbat is coming!
Shabbat is coming. So because of COVID-19, I am spending Shabbos in a house that I don't normally spend Shabbos in.
Shabbat is coming.
Good to be back. I just wanted to share with you one of my own original compositions from my album From the Depths about Shabbos. This is Mizmar Shir. After a week so long, we yearn again to sing a song. We sing on the seventh day of every week. Each Shabbos is our day of rest. For the one above, we look our best. Sing a song of praise. Shabbos we shall keep. Mizmar Shir Liyom HaShabbos. Mizmar Shir Liyom HaShabbos. Mizmar Shir Liyom HaShabbos. Mizmar, Mizmar
back. First, a couple of Shabbat Shaloms to the Leibowitz family in Toronto. Shabbat Shalom to you. And of course, the Livingstones in Baltimore. Shabbat Shalom to you. And thank you for your presentation of the day. We do this every single week. For those that are joining us now for the first time, check out the ShabbatShow.com. Every single week, 8 p.m. on Thursday night, we do a show. It's an hour. It's not a 2-hour big special like this is. It's an hour-long show, but it really does get us in the framework of Shabbat. So please check that out every single week. You can go to the ShabbatShow.com or any of the platforms that you're on right now that'll stream the Shabbat Show, 8 p.m. every single Thursday night. We're honored this week to have Mayor Kay. Mayor Kay is an American internet personality, best known for his inspirational vlogs and interviews on YouTube, which has amassed over 350 million views, and his social media presence with upwards of over 1 million followers. Check this out from Mayor Kay.
Thank you, Charlie, and hello, Project Inspire. It's your friend Mayor Kay wishing you a great day. We are in some crazy times right now, but it's also an incredible opportunity to share your love, kindness, and your favorite matzah ball recipe. That's right, inviting friends and family over, enjoying good food and conversation. You see, just like happiness, Shabbos is meant to be shared. And some time ago, I invited some young children to make a decision between spending $1 on themselves or someone who's experiencing homelessness. Let's see how they did. How beautiful was that? You see, each and every one of us has that child within. We can step into the world and view it through the prism of raw kindness and raw beauty. This Shabbos, we have the opportunity to invite our fellow neighbor, a stranger who's yet to be a friend, and to connect with them, sing with them, feed them, and converse with them in deep manners in which will last beyond just these few days, this Shabbos, but for eternity. So until then, I want to wish you much joy and happiness, a Shabbat Shalom, hey, and have a great day from your friend Mayor Kay.
Mayor Kay for that video. How true is that? It's such an amazing concept. We look at it on the screen. I remember just as you're watching each kid make a decision, you're like, please give the $1. Make the choice. Like my heart dropped when the girl went to the yogurt. But every one of us has that. Every one of us has that moment to give to somebody else. And sometimes the people that we want to give to are in our families. It's not $1. It could just be attention. It's the beauty of Shabbat. Sometimes the things that are the most valuable are free, but we don't give it out to the people that deserve it most. And that's one of the most beautiful parts of Shabbat, is it reminds us of the value that we have, and it makes us give it to the right people. And we share that not just with our family and friends, but with the people around us. And it changes the world, one person, one moment, one word, $1 at a time. So thank you, Mayor Kay, for sharing that with us and inspiring us to be a little bit better. Our next guest is an international activist for numerous Jewish causes. He is the board chairman of Agudath Israel of America and really defending so many of us every single day. His name is Saul Werdiger. And the reason why he's joining us today is because he is the founder and CEO of Outer Stuff, a leading producer of sports licensed youth apparel. Simply what that means is that when you buy a shirt or jacket with a sports emblem on it, or any of the other dozens of sports-related items. Usually it's coming from Outer Stuff and Saul Werdiger. His job is very much connected to events that take place on Shabbat. And we caught up with Saul to ask him how he manages to live a life with Shabbat with his very seemingly contradictory job that requires him to be on Shabbat. How does he make those two worlds collide? Check this out.
It's really great to have you on. I know you're so busy. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Always a pleasure to be with you, and always a pleasure to help in Project Inspire and all the unbelievably great work they're doing. So thank you for having me.
Oh, it's an honor. And you know, it's interesting. We're having this incredible week and we're talking about the Shabbat project. And Shabbat's a big deal. And what's incredible about Shabbat is that it takes up a lot of time. It doesn't just come whenever you're in the mood and you can't just sort of tuck it in, you know, on the way to the office. It sort of like sticks itself into the week and it doesn't really change. So someone like yourself, you're the CEO of a large sports apparel company. You're dealing with organizations, institutions that are not, they don't keep Shabbos and they don't slow down for Shabbos. So give us like a perspective on what it's like in your shoes and how Shabbat plays when you're building your business and your career, knowing that you're dealing with people that don't know or do not have Shabbat in their calendar.
Right. So interesting. So, you know, I always say, you know, listen, I'm a businessman and I'm not the rabbi and I'm not speaking to everybody here about, you know, keeping Shabbos and everything else, but I'm the one testament out there that if anybody thinks that by keeping Shabbat, it's going to hold them back from accomplishing anything that they want to accomplish, I'm the prime example to say it's absolutely not true. Because like as you said before, Charlie, there's no other business like mine. I mean, there are games being played on Shabbos. There's World Series games on Shabbos. There's all kinds of stuff on Shabbos, and that's my whole business. And so you would think, well, how is that possible? And it's possible. You know, I'm the prime example, and I have, you know, countless stories. Some of you may have heard about it, about if you're consistent, if you keep the Shabbos. Not only hasn't it hurt my business, it's really helped my business. I had once a story. There was, I think the Yankees were playing in the final game of the World Series, and I think the last game was on Shabbat. And, you know, so when somebody wins the World Series, we have to stop printing the shirts to say, you know, World Series champions or whatever, you know, NBA final champions, and the game is on Shabbos. And so, you know, sometimes if the score is enough in favor of, we want to get a head start and stop printing, because, you know, it takes a long time to start making these shirts. I remember I went to pray the Mariv. I went to pray the prayer right before sundown on Shabbat. I come home. My wife says the phone hasn't stopped ringing for 1 minute. Phone's been ringing off the hook. So I make Havdalah, and sure enough, the phone rings again. I pick it up, and it's the commissioner of the Major League Baseball. It's the Major League Baseball commissioner. And he says, "Saul, why didn't you pick up the phone?" I said to him, "It was Shabbat." He says, "No way." He says, "I went outside. You once told me that if there are 3 stars in the sky, Shabbat is over." I went outside, I counted the stars. There was more than 3 stars, and I called you, and you still didn't pick up the phone. I had to tell him it took me 5 minutes to walk from Shabbat. So you know, it's they get used to it. You know, you can work with it, but Shabbos is a real gift, and keeping it and being consistent with it, it'll only bring you respect, and you could accomplish whatever you want to do. It's not going to hurt you whatsoever in anything that you want to do. You know, I got, you know, the pinnacle of my career was when I got an NFL license. And so I got an NFL license. It's now 25 years. And it was my first Super Bowl. So this was a funny story. So they tell me that the big event that you have, that's mandatory, that you have to go to, is an NFL brunch on Shabbat for all of the licensees. It's like, man, you have to go. So I Googled it, and I saw it was like maybe a little under 2 miles from the hotel that I'm staying in. And I said, you know what, out of respect for the NFL, it's my first year. I really didn't know. They don't know me yet. I don't know them yet. So I said, okay, I'll go to pray in the morning. I took my, you know, I went to pray in the morning, and I washed, and I had my little bit of a meal, and I started walking towards this brunch. And as I'm walking, cars are stopping. Say, "Saul, why are you walking?" It was a hot day. I think it was in Arizona. They said, do you want a lift? I said, no, it's my Shabbat. I don't ride a car. So I went a little further. A second guy stopped, then a third guy stopped. By the time I got there, the commissioner must have gotten word. Saul is walking all the way here. Roger comes running over to me and he says, Saul, did you really walk all this way for the brunch? I said, yeah, out of respect for you. I said, but the worst part about it is I have to walk back. I said, I can't, it's not like a one-way street. You can't. So, all right. He was really impressed and he thought it was a terrific thing that I'm doing. So fast forward a year later, it's a month before Super Bowl. And my secretary tells me somebody just called from the NFL and wants to know what hotel I'm staying in at Super Bowl. And I said, she says, is it okay to tell him? I said, sure. The NFL switched the brunch to the hotel that I'm staying in that I shouldn't have to walk. And it's been 25 years now, and 25 years, the brunch, it's either in the hotel that I'm staying in or literally, a couple of blocks of walking distance. Wow. So it just shows you if you do it right, as I said before, they respect you. There's nothing lost, by keeping Shabbat.
We definitely feel, or people definitely feel, that if they stand out, it's not a good thing, right? Standing out for your beliefs, standing out in how you look, standing out in how you dress, being different comes with certain negative consequences. What I'm hearing from you is that there's a way to stand out in a way that doesn't. And what I want to sort of drive towards is how one balances that. How does one make decisions that are overtly religious, observant, spiritual, however one decides to do that, and in this case, Shabbat, and then interacts with the world around them in a way that gets people to respect you versus discriminate against you?
Listen, this is only talking from experience. And of course, in the beginning, it was very strange. It was not only strange to the people that I deal with in business, like the leagues, but also to my own staff. My own staff said, we're closed on Shabbat. We have to get this done. We have to do things tonight. And I think that if you're, as I said before, Charlie, the key over here is, first of all, knowing that I wear a yarmulke, with work. Again, I have to wear. I have many friends that, have different businesses. I wear yarmulke at work. I keep Shabbat. We close on Jewish holidays. And I think the fact that we do it, we realize it comes with a responsibility because you have to act accordingly. We keep on saying we're the chosen people. God gave us this gift of Shabbat. If you're the chosen people, you have to act as the chosen people. You have to deal in business right, correctly. You have to deal morally, ethically. I think that if it goes beyond the Shabbat, keeping Shabbat, as I said before, is important, but acting like the chosen people who were given the gift of Shabbat comes along with it, in my opinion.
What I love most about that interview is when I was done speaking to Saul, I felt like more pride. I don't know if you have the same feeling right now. Like, yeah, I'm proud of who I am. I could be me. And I think that's such an incredible piece when we're proud of who we are, when we're proud of what we stand for. And we do it in a way that's humble. It's not we're sticking it to somebody else, but we do our thing. But we stick to what we believe in. It's amazing how the world comes and changes for us. One of the my most inspiring moments took place when I went to Boca Raton last year. And one of the guys that were on my momentum trips came to me and said, I was in Israel, we went to Israel together. And I saw how many people were able to keep Shabbat and still maintain successful businesses. So I tried it on mine. He had a successful business. And his wife thought he was crazy, but he pushed through it and she stood behind him. And together, they decided to try Shabbat for 6 months. Now, he ran a store that made most of its money on Shabbat. And we were eating dinner outside in the restaurant. And he comes up to me and goes, I want to tell you that I just a week ago sat with my accountant. And after closing my store for an entire 6 months, I did not lose one penny. And he was so blown away. And I was so inspired by that. Everyone keeps Shabbat the way you want to keep Shabbat. But what's amazing from the interview from Saul and from so many other people along the way. It's that when we stand up for what we believe in, it's amazing how the world seems to make sense and work in a way that makes it work for us. So thank you, Saul, for who you are. And you know, for the man in Florida, I hope you're watching, and thank you for who you are. This is the last chance to like us and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. If you do, you enter to win Apple AirPods Pro or a beautiful modern menorah right now. Like us, and what'll happen is I'm gonna pick winners tonight, and hopefully you'll be able to have one of those two great gifts. Our next guest is someone who you are very familiar with if you're watching the Shabbat Show each week, which I hope you are. Jamie Geller is a huge piece of our show. A shout out to Jamie's mom, who I'm sure is watching. Jamie Geller influences millions every single day. 7-time best-selling author. She's the founder and CEO of the Kosher Network International, the number one global kosher food media company and the world's most watched Jewish food network with almost 1 billion, with a B, views. One of the most sought after Jewish food and lifestyle experts worldwide, Jamie and her husband live in Israel with their 6 beautiful children. Check out this video with Jamie Geller.
Thank you, Charlie, so much. Hello, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. I told you I would be back. This week, we are showing you how to share Shabbat like a boss with a very new video. This is a charcuterie board, a bagels and lox board, and an Israeli style board. Something in here for everybody. And this way, you can share Shabbat just like a boss. All right? This is how you entertain. Enjoy.
Thank you, Jamie, for that video. And that was insane. It was just completely and utterly incredible. I don't know how you put that all together, but I don't know, Jamie. You're like an artist. I get hungrier and hungrier. It's so happy that the Shabbat, used to be the Shabbat show was Friday afternoon. So when I'm watching the Jamie Geller videos, I'm going right into Shabbat. Now I got to go to bed and wake up and still work. So, but you know, the food, Jamie, incredible. Continue doing what you're doing. And anybody who wants to hear more about Jamie, check her out on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at Jamie Geller, Jewish by Jamie. And thank you for all that you are and all that you do. Remember that to check us out and like us on Facebook, because there are a whole bunch of people that are doing it right now, and the West Coast is doing it as well and just starting right now. Instead of drawing the prizes tonight, we're actually going to draw the prizes tomorrow on our Facebook page. Just check out tomorrow's Facebook page. Like us today, we'll draw it over the night, and by tomorrow morning you go to the Facebook page and you'll see who the winners are. Our next guest is an incredible guy. His name is Zachariah Levine. I had a great chance and a great conversation with him. He is also known as L'chaim OG. He's an international artist fusing Jewish-themed rap with his hip-hop music. Being the second cousin of Prince and also a close family friend of Terry Lewis, he grew up surrounded by musical greatness. After taking a hiatus from music to grow spiritually, he moved to Israel, enrolled in a yeshivas or sameach, and converted to Judaism. Check out a clip of Zachariah's music and the interview that I had with him.
Rabbi on Monday, I'm quitting my job and starting me a business. Had a goal of raising 20K just to try and get my thing clicking. Next day I had a simple goal, raise 1.5 mil before lunch. Hashem gave me that number, I ain't make it up, it wasn't just a hunch. Tuesday went according to plan, except I forgot to eat. Ever since each day I've been super focused, out here in these streets. Listen, black bag, that's family. Plus we got homies, 3-way on that marketing group. 10K productions, roll scene, free Wi-Fi if you need that. DAT, them squad on she shake. 144 hours straight grinding, and it's finally Shabbat's my favorite day. Diving that base, kiddish at a dive, prime deli, and we hit the culture spot. 7900, no, we got the sauce, born royalty, baby, drop a bomb. Let me show you how you spot some millionaires. Let me show you how you spot some future billionaires. Let me show you how you spot some trillionaires. There's no surrender, no retreat until we bring it down.
So Zachariah, thank you so much for taking the time. I know that you got a lot going on, and we really appreciate you being with us today. Thank you.
Appreciate being here. It's good to be a part of such a dope event and such a theme that is near and dear to my heart.
And you know, it's amazing seeing your story, and anyone, you know, if you give us a link or something, because I've been reading up about you and the articles, and I'm like totally inspired by your journey. And I know it's probably a massive conversation into itself, a show into itself, I'm sure. But if you can just give us, you know, you've got this incredible background, and you came and found something special in this religion, and you found something that you loved so much that you came to Israel, you studied, you're converted, you're one of the few that really see it from the outside. Give us a little bit, if you can, just in a few moments, what you saw about Judaism that was so special to you.
So, I mean, you know, my answer is probably different than what most people will have. But for me, you know, I just found my way home. You know, I believed, I guess, as a child that there was a connection there to the children of Israel, the tribes of Israel. As I got older, that never wavered for me. But obviously, the whole premise of that relationship is Hashem. So I was constantly, I guess, doing my own version of his Bodadus, of just talking to God, because I didn't have any set prayer books at the time I had afforded to me. And so very much was just cultivating that relationship and that journey. And then there comes to a point where I did have, I guess, you know, Jewish influences around me, but I wasn't necessarily so cognizant of them. My mother's mother passed away when she was young. Her closest relative outside of her father was my great aunt Della, who had converted. So she gave my mother a high necklace. I don't know if we've confirmed whether when I came into the world, I saw a high necklace right away, but thereafter, that was a part of my influence. And eventually, as I got older and heard conversations of like saying, oh yeah, 10 of the 12 tribes were lost and whatnot. I'm like, what? I'm like, man, we're the lost tribes? What do you mean? Like, so but you know, I was talking to a friend yesterday, shout out, who just became assistant coach with the Nets. So shout out to Yoshafat. But I was speaking to him and I was saying that, the journey to learning can't come from a place of ego, right? If you want to learn, you can't come into wanting to learn, deciding, but I already know it all. And
Right.
so I think sports conditioned me to a certain level of humility where I'm just like, hey, I want to learn. I want more. And Hashem is an avid listener. If you slip up and say the wrong words to him, he'll take you at your word. I definitely said some things along the journey that Hashem took me up on, but Shabbos, changed my life. And in each Shabbos, as I'm walking down the streets of Yerushalayim, I just find myself in like a honeymoon feeling, because it's just like, man, like all week it's just like hectic, and then it's like,
Yeah.
everything.
It's interesting you say that, and like, it's beautiful to hear it. So many people have been keeping, Shabbat for their whole lives. Some people have never kept it. In everyone keeps it in their own way, of course. And in your experience, the way you just said it, I loved it. Shabbat is like a honeymoon. And I know that you produce music about Shabbat, and it's such an important piece of you. Give us, if you can, like, take us inside a little bit as to what Shabbat means to you, and how it sort of paints that picture, if you will, of the relationship to Hashem.
I mean, it's like there's so much in the world that we're aware of that isn't how we'd like it to be. And so we're actively trying to correct it ourselves, things around us, the greater picture, do this, do that, how can we help, etc. When Shabbat hits, it's like, it's all good.
It's interesting in your music that you produce and you create. It's an expression of yourself. It's the art that you bring to the world. How has Judaism or Shabbat influenced that now? And how are you using your gifts with where you are in Jerusalem, in Yerushalayim? How is that all sort of coming together for you?
And at the offices I'm at right now, shout out to Crave. It was the first or the second Shabbos I spent in Jerusalem was at their home, the owner's home, Svi Maller, shout out to Spizzle. And like every Shabbos after that, so I mentioned Emily introduced me to spicy herring. I didn't know about spicy herring. Once I did, I took like the whole bowl and like angled, and she's like, you know what, Z, we'll make you your own bowl every week. I think Torah is what everyone's looking for. I think Shabbat, when you see people going out Friday night, what are they doing? Putting on their best outfit, going to the club, buying drinks, buying wine. I mean, everything is to try to get this experience, that Shabbos. I mean, if you had clarity, you'd be like, oh, wait, I got good wine. I'm in my best clothes. I'm with my favorite folks. We got good food. We're singing, and I'm just going to party for the next 25 hours every week. It's like every week, and so Torah to me and my music, I'm just trying to like respectfully and subtly throw out invites like, hey, I know you guys are looking for great food. I know a place. Hey, I know you're looking for something good to read. I got a safer. Hey, I know you're trying to figure out how to articulate your feelings to God. I know a Tehillim. It's like there's resources there, and I think it's imperative to each of us to try to share that and to go out of our way. When they talk about the structure of the olive.
Awesome. I just loved the time that I spent with Zachariah. Thank you, Zachariah, so much for that perspective. And thank you for what you bring to all of us. I want to give a couple more shout outs before we continue here to Shopsy Saperstein, the Queens Jewish Link, and the Bukharian Jewish Link, Kew Gardens Hills, Shabbat Shalom, to Bruce Leon, Shabbat Shalom, to Esther Williger, L'chaim, and Shabbat Shalom, to Shabbat Shalom to Sharon Ledonk, Shabbat Shalom, I hope I said that right, to Rana Adler, Shabbat Shalom, to Sarah Oppenheim from Charlotte, North Carolina, Yaakov Wazalswick, I hope I got that right, Shabbat Shalom, thank you so much, Yaakov, and to Eileen Miller, Shabbat Shalom, and Shabbat Shalom to everybody across the country. It feels so great to be able to celebrate it with all different types of people from all over the world. And anytime I meet anybody from a different background than mine, I'm always so inspired by their journey, because every one of us has our own journey at whatever level we're on. Our next guest is an incredible individual. He is the president and founder of United Hatzalah of Israel. a fully volunteer EMS organization that provides fast and free emergency first response throughout Israel. Eli Beer is an incredible individual. He recently survived contracting COVID in Miami, where he was there raising money for Hatzalah. He was put in an induced coma for 30 days before recovering. I remember, praying for him, and I remember when he got out of the hospital, I don't know if it's on YouTube or not, but if it is, you should check it out. They put his ambulance with him in it at the road, and cars came by for miles just to wave because of what he means for the Jewish people. United Hatzalah is not only saving lives in Israel, it's also setting the model for countries across the entire world. Eli is a true hero who has dedicated every second of his life to saving the lives of others. Check out Eli Beer.
The following video is about a guy, who is the fastest to save your life. But first, let me tell you what the problem is. Imagine you're in a remote area. You get a heart attack and you call an ambulance. For that ambulance to get to you, it has to drive all the way through traffic and narrow streets. And by the time it gets there, you are dead. This is how millions of people die every year. Ambulances are just not fast enough, and that is scary. Then I met this guy.
Hi, my name is Eli Beer.
This guy found a unique way to solve the ambulance problem. Here is how. It's very simple. The ambulance is too big, so Eli used a motorcycle and called it an ambucycle. Instead of employees, Eli found volunteers, regular people just like you and me, the teacher, the engineer, and the student. He trained them for months, gave them medical supplies and an ambucycle.
Drive carefully.
And he let them go back to their normal life. And every time someone calls for help, his technology finds the closest volunteer that can help.
Think of it like Uber, but this is for free and we save lives.
They drop whatever they're doing, arrive on the scene, and give medical care until the big ambulance shows up. This is how the difference between life and death looks like.
The first 3 minutes are the most important to save a life.
Eli's system is so fast that any phone call is answered in 3 seconds or less. And show up in 3 minutes or less.
And in most cases, we show up in 90 seconds or less.
So by the time you spent watching this video, someone is already at your house saving your life. This is the fastest medical emergency service in the world and the cheapest because it's entirely free.
By the way, our team is 5,000 volunteers and it's all sponsored by donations.
It's an organization that's 100% politics free, 100% cost free, 100% amazing, and 100%
human.
People of different backgrounds volunteer to join Eli's team of medics. The Jews, the Muslims, the Christians, and everyone else.
I love the fact that I'm sitting here in United Hatzalah in between an ultra-Orthodox Jew and a Muslim.
All of them dedicated their time to save others regardless of religion or race.
Hello, how are you? Shalom, shalom.
And overall, they saved over 3.5 million people.
When my own father had a heart attack, the first volunteer who came to save him was a Muslim volunteer who was nearby, and my father is Jewish.
My dad got a heart attack. The first person to help the fastest response was from a Jewish volunteer, and my dad is a Muslim.
What you're looking at is a group of people who came together under one organization called United Hatzalah to rise above politics, above money, above race, above religion, just to save lives.
Charlie, I'm excited to be with you from Jerusalem on this show. Thank you for inviting me. And I just want to thank everyone in Project Inspire. It's an incredible project worldwide, all the partners. And here in United Hatzalah, we are in the headquarters right now, live to you. If you see behind me, these volunteers are working here around the clock, 365 days a year, on Yom Kippur, every Shabbat, every day and night, to make sure that anyone who needs help, any person who's in difficulties of breathing, or God forbid in an accident, or choking, or heart attack, or God forbid even a bomb attack, we will be there in 90 seconds using volunteers of United Hatzalah who are spread all around the country, who are riding ambucycles or their private vehicles, and they get a call from this dispatch here saying you are it's an automatic call actually, that goes on their phones saying you're close to an emergency, stop everything you're doing and run to save them. They have all medical supplies with them, everything they need to save someone. And this is around the clock. But on Shabbat, which we're talking about Shabbat, Project Aspire, we love to rest. Shabbat is a day of resting. Everyone has to put their phones, they're using it all week, 24 hours a day during the week. They put their phones aside, they put all their business aside, and they just relax with their families. Eat a lot, drink a lot of good wine, and have a good time. And sometimes you go to pray. But it's really a relaxation. For here, United Hatzalah, we don't relax because we're saving lives. It's the biggest mitzvah in the Torah that a person could do, is to save another person's life. No matter who they are. They could be Jews or non-Jews, religious, Ashkenazi or Sephardic, any person who needs help. These volunteers who are usually around their homes relaxing, but when they're on United Hatzalah, they are not relaxing, they are saving people's lives, and that's the greatest mitzvah that the Torah gave us. Pikuach nefesh, saving another person's life, is the highest thing in the Torah, and that's why I'm so honored to be on Project Inspire and share with you. This year, United Hatzalah responded to over 540,000 emergencies, including, unfortunately, many people who are sick with COVID. We were transporting in some time, just this month, 500 people a day to hospitals. Even on Shabbat, we were transporting people to the hospital. If you give a volunteer here, go do some business, you'll make a lot of money, millions of dollars. They will not do it. But saving a life, they would do and stop everything they're doing, leave their Shabbat dinner to save someone else that they don't even know. And that's why I'm here sharing this beautiful project of United Hatzalah, IsraelRescue.org, with you guys. So Charlie, back to you. Continue the great program.
That was an incredible, incredible, incredible set of videos. Eli Beer, a modern day hero, thanks so much for who you are. Really begins to show the breadth and the depth of the greatness of our people. Thank you for who you are and for being part of this show. Remember, one-on-one, text one-on-one to 97,000. What an opportunity right now, better than ever before, this weekend. Don't wait, just text it. Let's get rolling, let's get studying, let's grow. Why do we wait for tomorrow? Let's get involved in this. It's a program that I know that you will totally benefit from. Custom study and anything that you want. Text one-on-one to 97,000 and they'll set you up with a great study partner. And of course, please feel free to join us every single week, Thursday, 8 p.m. Go to theshabbatshow.com or any of the platforms that you're watching it on. Please be part of this every single week. And of course, like the Facebook page, and tomorrow, check it out for the winners of both the Apple AirPods and that menorah. This is a show that requires lots of people to pull off. And I want to give a couple of thank yous as we begin to end. I want to thank Hananya Kramer and Kolram Productions for all they did, Jake Buchsbaum and Kedem Wines for their contributions to Rabbi Gedalia Zlotowitz and Art School Studios. Check out artscroll.com. A Jewish library is a thing that can just change a family, change an individual. And if you're ever near Rahwah, New Jersey, or any area in New Jersey, check them out. We can get you the information. Go to projectinspire.com and reach out to us. And we'll get you a chance to check this place out. It's pretty amazing. Of course, the Project Inspire super team, Lauren Levitt, Eliza Frankel, David Danzig, Jesse Franco, our superstar producer, Rabbi Yaakov Ginniger, and of course, the indefatigable Rabbi Yossi Friedman for all they do to make this show work every single week in This Week itself. And of course to Rabbi Sampson, Rabbi Barnett, Rabbi Trop, thank you so much for who you are and for being a big, huge piece of this. You know, if you've watched the Shabbat show over the last 2 months, we ended the show with the song Father by Tani Polanski. Now, we have him here now live, and he's going to play a set with Aryeh and Coldplay. Tani is a musician, a rabbinical student. He's currently in the process of releasing his first album, Tefillah, which is working to spread personal, powerful, and soulful prayer-based music to the world. You can check out his movement and the music at Tefillah Music and all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Tefillah Music, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, at Tani Polanski. Don't forget the one-on-ones. Don't forget to tune in. And before I send you over to Aryeh and Tani to wrap up the show, let me just thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for sharing this experience with me. You know, we're living, like I said, to open the show, in real incredible times. And the way we get through terrible times, well, they're not terrible, they're just uncertain. What's going to be with the virus? What's going to be? The way we get through things is we bind together and we connect ourselves to each other and we connect ourselves to our Creator. And we realize that we have something special when we go deeper and when we're doing it together. And to me, that's what this week is all about. That's what the Shabbos Project is all about. That's what Shabbat is all about. So I want to end this week with l'chaim to you and your family, from me and my family to you and your family. I want to wish you a Shabbat that is filled with wisdom and peace and clarity and togetherness. May we give the things that are the most important, which is ourselves, to those around us. May we realize how lucky we are to be part of this glorious nation. May we appreciate the things that we may have taken for granted, and may we walk into this Shabbat, into that spiritual bubble, feeling the calmness, knowing that God's got our back, and no matter what comes down the pike, it'll be good. And we got to just focus on where we are, focus on now, bind together, and bring out the best in each other, and really shine our light in the world. So wherever you are in the world, a good Shabbos, a Shabbat Shalom. I hope and I pray that next week we can do this Shabbat live from Jerusalem with all of you. But until then, Shabbat Shalom, and with God's help, I really hope I get to see you again next week. L'chaim.
שבתי בבייס השם כל ימי חיי, כל ימי חיי לחשוש בנועם, בנועם השם ובכה בהיכלו, ובכה בהיכלו. Father, bring me back to you, back into your loving arms, back into your loving arms. Oh, I've gone so far from home. I'm begging to bring me back to you, back into your loving arms. Shifty b'veis Hashem, kol yemei chayai.
Here we go. You brought me up when I was down. Oh yes indeed. You brought me up to a brand new sound. Oh yes you did. You let the sun shine on my mind, and then you another chance. Hey, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Hey, as I watch this river flow way out into sea, I think about where I've been and where I'm gonna be. I listen to your endless sound as this river moves along. We've been this way as so many times. I just never heard your song. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Yeah, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, city of my dream. I've been this way sometime before, at least that's how it seems. You see, I've walked your streets and I've seen your walls. You know I've sung your soul. We've been waiting for that David man to come and take us home. Oh, oh, la 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 la, la 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 la, hey, la 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 la, la 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 la. Yeah, fuck mispetti lemacholi, lemacholi. Fuck mispetti lemacholi, lemacholi. Hashem Elokai leolam, Omekai. Hashem Elokai leolam, Omekai. La 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 la, la la la, hey, la 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 la, la 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 la. Hey, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Hey, la 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 la, Shabbat shalom. La 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 la, la la la. Oh, thank you so much, Project Inspire, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbos Project. Thank you all for joining with us tonight. Thank you, Tani. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.
Sun descends on Friday night, a stillness fills the air. I see a Jew who seems so distant, standing very near. He's passed this way before, he might just live next door, but somehow he's someone we've ignored. He watches as we walk to show our hearts so full of love, dressed up in our finest to thank the one above. Yet none could find a way or make time in their day to ask him if he'd like to come and pray. Just one Shabbos and we'll all be free. Just one will sing and dance to the sky with our spirits so high. We will show them all it's true. Let them come and join us too. Just one Shabbos and we'll all be free. Just one Shabbos, come and join with me. We'll sing and dance to the sky with our spirits so high. We will show them all it's true. Let them come and join us too. I said to him, hello, my friend. He seemed a bit surprised. I wished him a good Shabbos. Confusion filled his eyes. I've seen you all before. I'd love to learn much more, but I've never done it all. I'm just not sure. I asked him, won't you join with us to understand and see? He came and stayed a while and thanked us happily. Next Shabbos came along. His feelings grew so strong. He first began to feel that he belonged.
Just one Shabbos and we'll all be free. Just one Shabbos, come and join with me. We'll sing and dance to the sky with our spirits so high. We will show them all it's true. Let them come and join us too.
Just one Shabbos and we'll all be free. Just one Shabbos, come and join with me. We'll sing and dance to the sky with our spirits so high. We will show them all it's true. Let them come and join us too. Now he's found our treasure and he's kept it in his life. Shared it with his family, his children and his wife. They learn new things each day to live the Torah way. The message of one Shabbos here to stay. And now I never miss a chance to stop and look around. Invite some people home to share the sights and sounds of Shabbos candlelight and Zmiro's Friday night, and get to see a Jewish soul ignite. Just one Shabbos and we'll all be free. Shabbos Project, come and join with me. We'll sing and dance to the sky with our spirits so high. We will show them all is true. Let them come and join us too. Just one Shabbos and we'll all be free. Just one Shabbos, come and join with me. We'll sing and dance to the sky with our spirits so high. We will show them all is true. Let them come and join us too.
Just one Shabbos and we'll all be free. Just one Shabbos, come and join with me. We'll sing and dance to the sky with our spirits so high. We will show them all it's true. Let them come and join us too.
Just one Shabbos and we'll all be free. Just one Shabbos, come and join with me. We'll sing and dance to the sky with our spirits so high. We will show them all it's true. Let them come and join us too.
Beautiful. Just one Shabbos. Keeping it together.
Just one Shabbos and we'll all be free.
Who are you inviting?
I'm in. Are you?
I can't wait for Parashat Noah.
Spread the warmth of Shabbos.
The Shabbos Project. No excuses.
Shabbos Project. I'm in.
Just one Shabbos.
I can't wait for Parshas Noach. Can you?
The Shabbos Project, no excuses.
Just invite somebody. Who are you inviting?
I'm in. Are you?
I'm in. Are you?
I can't wait for Parshas Noach. I'm in. Are you?
The Shabbos Project. No excuses. Just invite someone. Just invite someone.
Everyone's
doing the Shabbos Project.
The Shabbos Project. No excuses.
Who are you inviting?
Who are you inviting?
The Shabbos Project. Project? Shabbos. The Shabbos Project. No excuses.
I'm inviting you to the Shabbos Project, Parshas Noach. It's going to be amazing, it's going to be inspirational, and it's going to be the most memorable Shabbos of your life.
We'll sing and dance to the sky with our spirits so